Okay, before we get to the actual review, guys. Yes, you're watching me talk about a 2023 album. And I've yet to do my best of the year yes, technically the best of the year when it comes to on the rock related stuff. Yeah, it's coming. It's gonna be a bit. Plus, I don't know if anyone who knows that I live around Missouri, where one of those states are gonna get hit with the bad weather coming. Even my own actual job had to have me get taken off work because of it. So stuff like that. So it might still be maybe sometime next week, maybe if that. Hopefully it'll still be January by the time I'm talking about this, by the time I finally release it. But if not, maybe early February at worst. So that's what's going on with that. It's going to be in the works. Hell, with the time off I'm probably going to have as of the time of this recording, which will be of a Tuesday. Either way, so you know, we're good to go. Oh, just know that's what's going on with that. But I couldn't wait to talk about this album because finally, this band did something that I finally get. And I feel like I need to talk about it. So here we are. And for those who've seen the review, you know what it is. And of course, that is Katatonia. Sky Void of Stars. Yeah, I could have handled that better, but we're going to just leave that in for now. Regardless, Katatonia is a band that's been around for the past few years. In fact, they started off as a death doom band. In fact, with one of their more noted albums, their second release being known as Brand Murder Day, had apparently a vocalist who would become way more known in another band. That is Michael Lickerfelt of Opeth fame. In fact, some of Opeth's stuff has sort of somewhat influenced the later career work of Katatonia, just a little bit. Or at least whatever elements that seem to also have at least on the doomier side of things. Which, yeah, this is also the part that also bothers me with the Opeth stuff, but I'm about to get on a tangent with that. But regardless, I tried to go into Katatonia's discography a while back, and I just wasn't. I couldn't feel their Death Doom stuff. I tried Discouraged Ones, and I thought it was kind of just a weird mishing attempt of trying to blend Danzig with Typo Negative, and or attempting to try to sound like Peter Steele, and it just wasn't working. I was like, they went to a Gothic Doom thing, and I'm like, okay. And then their follow-up I was told was a great album, but with Tonight's Decision, and I just couldn't. And I could tell there's trying to be something there, but it just wasn't doing anything for me. And every other listen I tried, but for some reason nothing was sticking with this band. I don't know if I got to go into much deeper and later into their discography to enjoy them, I guess. I don't know if Viva Emptiness was the last record I bothered to listen to or not, or if it was the album before that or the album before that other album. I don't know. All I do know is I said one time while I was, just doing my usual stuff, helping my mother with doing something with a cleaning job, just to make ends meet and, pay off my rent, on the side. Normally I don't talk about this kind of stuff. I mean, it's not something that really have to, but I just felt like I needed to, so my point being, I said, screw it, I'm going to give Katatonia a chance with this record. And from the immediate get-go of this track, I was already kind of hooked from Austerity. I was already hooked in. And I love how it easily blends in Also, this album cover is pretty fucking awesome to me. Like, look at that. Let's just look at that. I mean, I'm just saying. And then, like, the other tracks that are on here from, like, Colossal... Even going into Colossal Shade is pretty good. I was okay with Opaline, which was started to come out shortly before this album had been released, and I was like, I don't know. I was a little leery because it's had moments that reminded me of the stuff that I was sort of hearing off of their previous album, Sky Burials. The lead single was weirdly too Imagine Dragons-y, even though I will give them credit, like most bands who try to take it on, they somehow find a way to do it better than them? Than Imagine Dragons does? Unless you're, unfortunately, Skillet. But the Birds was like, okay, you know? And we're starting to get into, and honestly, the songs that I knew mostly was those tracks going into this. And then we start to get more into stuff like Drab Moon, which was really good. Which is where the line that makes up the album title, that is Sky Void Stars, comes in, which is really good. I love Birds, and especially the lyrics to the Birds. The birds, they lie. Premonitions from the other side. Sounds like poetry to me. I don't know. Like some dark romanticism kind of shit. I would consider this band also, musically this band is kind of went more into like, started to add more alternative, more doom oriented, to the point of also being sort of gothic doom, or at least incorporating more goth metal and goth rock elements into their sound. Eventually more alternative rock, alternative metal, more via that of Tool's more Anima Lateralis eras of the band specifically. And I do hear some like Porcupine Tree as well. And I would almost say that what I got out of this record is aspects about Tool and even Porcupine Tree that from their previous records, but unlike those records, somehow takes those ideas and does better with them, even blending those ideas together. If that makes any sense. In fact, this band has this way of being... In fact, one of their album titles, Dead End Kings, is supposed to be kind of what they've been considered as in their particular brand of doom. Of doom metal. And, though I don't... Metal Meltdown, really? You're gonna complain about them not doing death growls. When they've been doing fine... They're actually been doing fine without them. Something you can't exactly say about their former band members' band Opeth, even though that's fine, but it's not. But this is beyond fine. This set is setting the standard for me for this year already. Which may not say too much, given how Katatonia is sort of niche and acquired taste, but somehow this particular album has a specific one. In fact, I'm starting to also hear some of Sowen's influence, and it didn't become more obviously noticeable until Appearance, which is where the singer from Sowen comes in as a guest appearance. One of the best features so far that I've heard so far from this year. The other tracks, Solarian and Atrium, do pretty well. I think Atrium does have a certain... I feel like it's either Drab Moon or Author, where I do get moments where I hear the drums come in that feel very Phil Collins Coming in the Air Tonight a little bit. And then No Beacon to Illuminate or Fall is definitely amongst the most... This is technically the final track, even though they do have this bonus track, Absonder, which is also really good and a nice little treat to, like, say, you... Like, congratulations for getting through the rest of our album. Here's a nice little morsel. So if you find a way to get a version of this with that track, Absonder, get it. If you haven't streamed it already. So, No Beacon, like, just, oof. And it's the longest track of 6 minutes and 9 seconds. with the shortest track being the opener at 3 minutes and 42 seconds. So they're long, but they're not overtly super long like some prog is. I would consider them at this point more progressive. Like I said, I don't know if I've already said it, but I would say they're more of a combination of progressive goth rock, progressive goth metal. Hell, I would dare say at points in their discography, they would be one of the few bands where I would refer to them as alternative doom. In fact, they also do kind of qualify as sort of like, I would even go as far as to say progressive alt doom, like alt prog doom or alt prog doom or something. I don't know how else to, like, that's kind of the vibe I get from them. There's definitely fit, but in the progressives, they have their progressive they do like Tool in the sense they're more rock and metal oriented, but they have those progressive seeds in there. And you can tell from the lyricism how definitely goth and doomy they are in how they are. And I love the vocals here. And his vocal in this, and oh, dude. Well, Appearance is one of those great tracks, for sure. I think Appearance is the second longest track at 5 minutes and 13 seconds. Yes, it is. And yeah, because other than that, most of the tracks are under 5 minutes at the very least. With the exception of Opaline. Dry Mood's like straight up 4 minutes. But yeah, for the most part, it's not a super long album. I think you can get through it. I think it's a little under an hour. A little bit, if not slightly over, but not by much. It's worth your time. It's beyond worth your time. I'm not sure I would say it's just good. I mean, at the worst, it's just good. At best, fuck it, dude. I'm putting my horns heavy on the thumbs up, but even just as heavy on the thumbs up to straight up horns up, guys. Not quite masterclass, but I get the feeling if this girl, like, this has more of an instant gratification for me compared to what you would normally get of Katatonia. But even still, they have these things about it that still is a sense of delayed gratification that will, like, they find a way to have this more instant gratification to this, what's going on in this record, to immediately grab you, but you'll still want to, by the end of your first listen, want to listen to it more, and those other moments that are more delayed gratification will come creeping back on you, and you might even start noticing other things come in even more. Hell, there's some lyricisms in the way the vocals are done with these lyricisms that just somehow work. If you're a fan, like, I get Tool, Porcupine Tree, some Opeth, Hymn vibes. There might be some Deftones-ish moments, but not quite. I wouldn't say Ghost. I'm trying to. They may have taken a lot more from Sowen's particular brand of music that has that Opeth, that later Opeth, later Tool, with that metal era Porcupine Tree kind of fitting in between to kind of molds together, that sort of thing that Sowen is. If you like them, what you're gonna get, you'll probably like this record for sure. And if you sort of liked the latest Tool and the latest Porcupine Tree, but you felt like you were missing something, I feel like in a way this record will kind of cathartically fulfill something out of it in ways you never really expected. Even I was pleasantly surprised by this thing, and I didn't, not going in kind of low expectations, not thinking they were going to actually get me interested, and yet somehow they did. Yeah, and this is in January right now, so yeah. Shit, son. Ugh. Well, I've heard, like, just recently going through this one reactor, he had said, when he was talking about this, he had said something about, Even though there was a moment, I think he said on either Atrium or Sclera or something, he thought he heard like a Breaking Benjamin thing to it. Which I don't know about that, but who knows? Just figuring if you're a Breaking Benjamin fan, if you want to figure out what that is on one of the tracks, here you go. Here's a little plant of a seed for you. But to me, it's really way, even though that's probably more the Toolish portion of their influence, that of Breaking Benjamin's influence sort of seeping in with this. I don't know. I'm not really sure I agree with the Breaking Benjamin thing, but if you're a Breaking Benjamin fan, maybe you should find out and see what he meant. Or look up that, it was Drew Fortune. Or Fortune. Or he's some British dude. British dude, actor or something that's friends with Metal Burb. I don't. Burb, and sometimes his reactions are pretty cool. It was just more a highlight thing. But yeah, for the most part, it's very good. And Bird's here. Like, I even hear, like, hymn vibes. Like, this one's in appearance. I mean, just listen to that. Come on. The reflections of sky, but we barely see the reflection. Just good use of vocal harmonies as well. The writing on this thing just is great. You could tell is really good. Like for Soen fans, I mean, come on. You hear this, and you can't not think it's, you know, it's a Soen song by this point. Even though it's not, it's Katatonia with the singer. But their sound, it's, shit, I'd love to see this. Hell, I'd almost want to hear this song live. And I'm not, it's almost to the point where I'm starting to wonder if even Soen was somewhat influenced by Katatonia. After this, I don't know. That's the weird mind-bending thing with this record for me, and this particular track. This is the voice that actually attempted to do Slipknot's Snuff and pulled it off pretty well. I'm just saying. Hell, the same guy also used Sane in his native tongue of Sweden. Oh, holy night. Shit. And it sounds just as good as how he sings in English. Holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit. I'm just saying. Anyways, I've talked enough rant. You know how I feel about this thing. Just please give this album a try. And then I find this to be possibly, when it comes to this band, a probable gateway into this band. At least in the sense that if you liked anything mostly since Discouraged Ones upward and certain but I'd rather say, from what I've heard, The Great Cold Distance onward, I think, would be more accurate. I think it's that record, because it's the one after Viva Emptiness. But I've yet to listen to that record, and maybe that's, after hearing this, I'm wondering if I should. Also, great solo work, too. I forgot to mention that, especially on Author and this song. Song Appearance. Whew. The lead work, and there's some lead work great that you've kind of hear on Birds. Even, I think there's some lead work also on the No Beacon to Illuminate or Fall. Just fucking, yeah, just give this, yes, horns up. It's potential, it might potentially be Masterclass. I'm not sure. Even like Forge Metal Masters said, they decided to put this at A tier. They were super impressed with this thing. It's just as much as I was. So I'm like, okay. at least I'm not alone in this, with how this record is, just, just like, it never not, even the writing, like the songwriting's great, the production and composition choices are pretty good. Yeah, I'd give it, like, if you haven't had a chance to get into Katatonia, I think this might be the record to do it. Because it got to me. Because when the previous albums I tried listening to, I couldn't. So, that I've already explained earlier in this video. But, yeah, just, what did you guys, you know what, just, once again, horns up and all that. Yeah, just give this album a listen. There's a chance this thing will, depending on how this year goes, if this album's any indication, I think we're going to have we might have another fine year. And, like, hell, this might be a year, given what's going on, this might be a year for prog. On the heavier side of things, possibly. Hell, I've yet to hear, from what I've heard, especially sort of hearing about the Riverside record. I might give that album a chance. I don't know. I might talk about it later. We'll see. Because I've never had a chance to give that band a chance. I don't know if I should or not. What do you think on that? But also, what did you think of this Katatonia album? Sky Void of Stars. Leave a comment below. What did you think? What did you think? What do you think of the album cover as well? I think it's pretty. I think it's good artwork. Leave a comment below. Let me know. As always, guys, keep it random. Keep it real. Keep it rocking. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, y'all. Which will hopefully be the best of the year. We'll see. Again, take care, y'all.